All right, so module number 5, we're going to really be talking about how to increase your open rates and click rates. We're going to talk about best practices. The number one goal as an email marketer is not only to collect email, but to maximize the open and click rates to make the most out of each email. In this module, we're going to dive into what really drives the open rate and click rates and the best practices to improve these rates. Real examples and real test data will be shared as well too. All right, so let's start off and talk about the first thing that really is very, very powerful in opening click rates. We're talking about subject line and first line awareness. We're talking about personality versus brand, the from name, the email that it comes from, all right? Now, the best practices are very simple. You want to be clear and identifiable and consistent. That's the number 2 key. You don't want to be changing those names all the time. You don't want to be changing the way that brand is done. You want to make sure that they are getting the members. Remember, they get over 145 emails per day and on average person. So communicating that clear identifiable name is very, very important. So let's talk about some best practices. First of all, obviously your name, like myself, Jimmy Kim, or Jimmy at Senlane like that, or Jimmy Senlane or Senlane. Now, those are best practices because they're very, very important. Now, poor practices is using your email address, maybe just using your first name only, like Jimmy only, or using names that are fictitious or unknowns, okay? So you got to make sure that you are communicating a brand, all right? Now, remember, I put this here as well. Make sure that you aren't buying data from customer lists and scraping emails and thinking that that's a best practice and because you have a personality brand. So if you think that people are what's that called again? Are on your LinkedIn and they're following you just because of that does not mean that they know who you are. So make sure that you're not using those poor practices, but also making sure you have a clear identifiable name. Remember, people like people. That's why I always highly recommend that you use something like Jimmy at Senlane or Jimmy Kim Senlane or whatever it may be to identify your brand and your company. All right, the next part is subject line and first line awareness. Did you know 33% of people open emails based on their first subject line? The reason is because you need to entice people, right? Enticing people is getting them excited, getting them aware, getting them alert, getting them to want to open that email. Now, here's the things that you got to make sure that you're doing that's really, really important, okay? You want to make sure that you are giving them nothing that's misleading, which is what they consider clickbaity. You want to make sure you're creating excitement. You want to make sure that you're accentuating something that makes a person go, huh, why do I want to read that? Maybe you should reveal the problem or the solution. You can use either one, or you can reveal a story. The story is pretty important too as well. You can go ahead and start sharing that story from there, and it may start getting them excited, okay? The next thing is content. Let's talk about content. Content is king. This is the number one thing that I talk about when it comes to being able to improve your open rates, right? The reason why people want content is because it brings value. Value is what drives a brand or a person to want to open your emails, right? So the number one question I ask is, how would you feel if you were on your own email list? Would you read it? Would you subscribe? Would you recommend it? Would you click? Would you unsubscribe and leave? Would you read your own emails? Knowing that content is such a big part of improving your open and click rates is about giving that person a great responsibility or commitment or talk to, right? And in the next module here, module 6 coming up, I'm going to reveal something called the cookie system and how that can also help you improve your communication when it comes to your marketing. So I talk about that pretty deeply in the next one, but thinking about that, why content is such a big thing. I talked about it in module number 4 of having an authority and website. The reason why is will continue to talk about this through the next couple modules because content is king. Remember one thing, there's a human behind it. I can't stress this enough. This is something that people seem to forget about email marketing. It's not just a way to make money for your company or for your brand or grow. It's also a way to communicate with your subscribers, the people who do want to spend money with you. And it's important that people are thinking that way. So content is king, making sure that you're on your own list and thinking about how this can help you. All right. Hope that makes full, complete sense. That is module number 5 on improving your open and click rates. And module number 6, we're going to talk about how to nurture and convert your people. Module number 7, we're going to talk about list exhaustion and so forth. So I'll see you on the next module. Talk to you then.